mani di Mike.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the S20 podcast. You hear me well?
Yes, I
I'm
do.
not gonna wear the headphones.
Okay.
Just rock them. Um,
Everything sounds good, by the way. There's
okay.
no sound or nothing.
What do we got? One more episode left.
Yep.
But before we get into that, we know y'all are fiends and y'all know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly discipline therapy where not everything is completely free. As we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. So it's judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and plenty of liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great. And that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite, roll a blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversation prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up. Inhale life and exhale strife. Beautiful. Okay. Inhale life and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline to Be podcast.
We're here. I'm trying to see if it's making noise. That's okay. Also, we have links in the description below the video, how to become part of our Patreon family, and subscribe for exclusive content, behind the scenes of Mr. Eel Discipline solo lecture of Discipline Therapy Talk, his BDSM content, erotica posts, and writing by Mr. Discipline. We also have his masterclass and workshops. The full videos are uploaded there. There's some collaboration shows pertaining to more sensitive topics with both of us on. Talking about sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, child abductions, so on and so forth. So once again, on how to become part of a Patreon family, go to patreon.com/the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Mr. Discipline also has 7 books for purchase. All you have to do is Google his name and all his works pop up, but you can get them on Google.com, BarnesandNobles.com. We also have it for Nook and what's the other one? Kindle
Mhm.
for electronic versions. So once again, all the links are in the description below. And for our merchandise, you go to disciplinetherapy.launchcard.store/shop. Check that out. And if you can't make it to our YouTube channel, we are also on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, Podtail, Podcaster, Pocket Cast, and many, many more. All right. So we have today's episode, which is episode 219. If you're in the woods alone and lost, and a bear and a male stranger are there with you, who do you fear more? Who do you want to be alone with if you had to choose? All right. So which are you choosing and why? If I
Well,
no, I'm gonna put it on the table.
scroll up. Okay, okay, because I was about to say my stuff that I didn't put in there for statistics is not there. It is,
This right? Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like whenever I put in stuff or
I saw
you,
it.
all you gotta do is save it
Mm-hmm.
and
Do
then it updates. All right. Well, I don't got my computer.
you want me to leave it on the
No,
middle? Okay.
no. You can read all the statistics and all that. So you go first.
Okay. I am choosing the bear. And it's simple because with a bear or with that type of an animal, you know that they're only going to attack, for just new certain amount of things. If they're scared, if they're hungry, or if they're protecting their offspring or their food. Those are pretty much the 3 main reasons as to why, or they feel threatened. As to why they would attack. And of course, there are variables. You don't know when the last time they ate. You don't know if they're scared. But if you are walking on a trail, which there have been many, many videos of people walking on trails, they come across a bear. They pretty much leave you alone, especially nowadays. People leave food in their camp sites and the bears go and eat and all that stuff. So that's why I would pick the bear, because with the man, whether they're strangers or not, sometimes, and especially with this day and age, there's so much proof that they will smile in your face, and say kind things to your face and then turn around and hurt you. So that's why I picked the bear over the man.
Pedophilia.
Yep.
There's a ring for that. Human trafficking.
Yep.
Um, the files are out. But I think in this day and age, because of all these things that people like you and I, like we have these conspiracy theory episodes on Patreon and stuff like that. It hasn't been far fetched. For years, we've been saying it. Release the Epstein files, right? It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been far fetched. But for people that don't think like this, they're shocked. When my friends, right, like I got a couple of close male friends, when they send me stuff through DM, like I laugh. Like one of my boys sent me something this morning, and I was like, bro, I'm not shocked.
Oh, what
Like
about
he
the
sent,
Epstein files?
yeah, like so many things are being discovered.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Celebrity things that they've been doing or whatever are being discovered. People are speaking out now. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm not. Like, I've been saying this stuff for years. I know other people that have. People have told me I was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just, I'm not surprised because I already knew, like, well, I didn't have proof. But deep down, I felt like I knew this stuff already, right? And it caused me to be shadow banned. A lot of people can't find my posts.
Mm.
Like I'll still be able to post, but I'm not getting the adequate likes like I should or
Like you used to
comments.
get, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm shadow
Me
banned.
too.
You know, same thing with Facebook, TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
all those things, and I don't care if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything.
Yep.
So like I don't care, but um, just I digress. I'm gonna stay on topic. But I think most people would choose the bear, you know, because like there's not really history on like bears killing humans, right? There has been some, and we're gonna get into statistics because it depends on the bear. So
Mm-hmm.
I think like black bears are dangerous. Um, so this is a lot easier to pick when you're just picking a bear. So now I'm gonna make it harder. Now I'm gonna put black bear to make it a double-edged sword because black bears were known to killing humans. Now when you talk about it's predictable. Well, I picked the bear because you didn't say that verbatim, but just to summarize, because you said they would either attack for this reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is in summary, you're saying it's predictable. Like the bear is predictable because this is what would make them angry.
Mm-hmm.
This would what make them attack a human. Um, the male is unpredictable, and
Mm-hmm.
from what we've seen publicly heard, whatever, in films and all that stuff, you know, they're unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you as a woman would say, I wouldn't trust myself to be alone with the male. I wouldn't trust probably my daughter or niece or whatever to be with the male. I would trust them to be with more of the bear.
Yep.
Now, when we throw a wrench in there, it makes it harder. If it's A and B, it's easy. When we throw scenarios, more context, it's harder to choose. When we put like things like black bear, when we put things like what if they have a cub with them? What if we put things like accidentally? What if you trip over the cub because you don't see the cub?
I mean, they're pretty big, but I get it.
Oh, now you are in danger.
Yeah.
Now you are in danger because the bear misunderstood. And now here's the kicker. Because you don't speak bear language, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. They don't believe it. They just see the action. So now you are under attack. Run, Sue, run,
Mm.
run. Because the bear, mama bear, whatever, thinks you tried to hurt the cub. The
Mhm.
cub is swimming. See, when we do A and B, it's easy. Now, when we throw more context, we throw a wrench in there. It's a double-edged sword because it's not so easy.
You're right.
You
But there
know.
are, I mean, there have been like you heard like with different bears,
Mm-hmm.
there's different ways to like there's ones that I don't know which one is which. So clearly you have to know what kind of bear
Mm-hmm.
you're in the area of. But there's one that if you throw yourself on the floor and cover yourself, they'll sniff you and they'll walk away. Then there's
Yeah.
other bears that you're supposed to like run, not run up to them, but like stand your ground and be like, "Wah!" And like, stand your ground and then they'll back up. So like with
Like
things that
not move.
there's ones that you have to stand still and not move,
Yeah.
and then there's other ones that you have to yell back because then they're taking it back like, oh, what the fuck is
See,
this?
see, you're talking about certain bears
Right,
that's
certain
losing them because how would they know?
I don't even know which
Yeah.
one goes with that. But I would still pick the bear because if that bear's gonna come and kill me, that bear's gonna come and kill me.
Mm-hmm.
There's not gonna be anything left of me to put back together.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do that than stay with a man that has bad and ill intentions because that will stay with me and harm me for the rest of my life. And if I'm the type of person that doesn't know how to get over that, I'm gonna either hurt somebody else because I'm not, healed, and it's gonna be just a cycle.
Mm.
So it's more than just, you know, who do you feel safer with, or if that bear, is angry and is going to kill you. I'd rather just go ahead and die then instead of having all that trauma, built in. And if I think that I'm okay later on, and like, let's say I was a younger woman who hasn't had kids and something like that happens to me, and now I have kids and I haven't healed, guess what? My kids are going to feel that. It's
Mm.
going to get carried down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
If
yeah.
I had a daughter, um, it'd be hard. I would lean towards the bear too. Um, because
That's
just
sad.
just being exposed to this stuff that we've heard and seen,
Mm, mm, mm.
um, I couldn't trust it. Like I couldn't trust her to be with a male,
Mm-hmm.
especially an older male. I couldn't I couldn't fathom it.
Yeah.
I'm already overprotective
Yeah.
to begin with, but like when you add, it's kind of dangerous on both ends. I believe it's unpredictable on both ends. We're gonna get into some statistics, but it's like when you go to the jungle, initially the lions are not looking to harm the humans.
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing to them. You're like celery. You're not enough meat for them to be suffice, to suffice. You know what I'm saying? Their hunger, right? So they're not looking to harm human beings. Like they're smart enough to know you don't belong here. They will harm you when they see you harming their potential. That's why I mentioned the scenario about now there's a cub with the bear,
Mm-hmm.
and then you you don't see the cub. Maybe you're backing up or whatever, and then you trip over the cub. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's not your fault. Well, it was your fault because you're not looking. But then you didn't mean anything malice,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't speak the bear's language. You can't speak the lion's language. The female lion is hurt. The stranger, mind you, this is not a lion tamer. Like I didn't grow up with you, I didn't train you. Stranger wants to be an idiot and say, "Well, let me be a good Samaritan and go aid her." So he's trying to like nurse her back to health, or her. She's trying to nurse her back to health.
The lioness.
The lioness. The man or the woman is trying to nurse her back to health. Yes, the lioness. Now, the male lion, dominant alpha of the pride, is walking around, smells you, sees that. He's not going to think you're helping. And then he's going to attack. He's going to attack because he thought you did that to her.
Mm.
And because you don't speak lion language, you're a goner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough when we don't. It's tough when we add more context and
Yeah.
we throw a wrench in there, but it's easier when it's just A B.
All right. Like you said, the bullet is we haven't heard much stories of bears killing humans. Research says yes, bears have killed humans, though fatal attacks are rare, with roughly 180 deaths recorded in North America since the late 1700s. While black bears, grizzly bears, and polar bears can be dangerous, most encounters are nonviolent. Attacks usually occur due to defensive reactions, surprise encounters, or predatory behavior by males. What if that bear is a female, a mother, in fact, and has a cub with her? You think the cub is cute and start playing with it. Is the bear still predictable?
Kind
Yes.
of like
Yeah.
what I
She's gonna
said.
be like, "What are you doing with my baby? Get away!"
Is the
Yeah.
bear still predictable? Like meaning, will you still now be safe? Because we
Oh,
talked. You see. I'm gonna bring you back. I'm gonna bring you back. You picked the bear quickly
yeah.
because you didn't say this verbatim, but you said, "Well, they will attack for this," which
Yes.
I'm summarizing is you know that the bear is predictable.
Right.
You can
Because they're
kind of,
gonna attack for those
yes,
reasons.
that is a control thing when you can know the predictability. The male you can't control
Right.
because it's unpredict like it's they're unpredictable what they're gonna do to you, or if it was your daughter,
Right.
niece, whatever,
Right.
female friend, right? So with this now we adding a wrench to it, right? We're adding context. If the cub is with her, and we didn't even talk about you're tripping over the cub,
Right. You're playing with it.
you're playing with it now.
Yeah. It's still predictable. Why would you wanna? Why? First of all, why would you even want to touch an animal that big, their offspring, if we know those animals are protective of them?
Well, I mean predictable in a sense. Will they still be safe? Like will
When I say predictable, I'm talking about I can predict that if I'm touching that bear's cub, she's gonna come attack me.
okay.
I could predict what she's
Yes,
gonna do
yes.
because of that.
I mean, is it still predictable of you still being safe?
Ah, if I don't touch the cub, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you are, there's animals that once they smell a human on their baby, they leave the baby.
Mm,
So to me, it is still a predictable outcome. I can tell if I'm gonna touch this animal's offspring, they are gonna come and charge me because they don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like you said, we don't understand each other's
mm,
language. Some species are more aggressive than others. Sloth bears, Asiatic black bears, and brown bears are more likely to injure people than other species. Also, grizzly bears in the United States are the most.
mm,
Separation is key to conventional measures to minimize aggression and property damage by bears. So I think that yes, while there are bears that are more hunters, are more aggressive, and they don't really need to have a reason to do it, for the most part, and because of how dense the population is going into their environment, they're used to more people now. They see more people. Some of them are smart enough to know where there's people, there's food, because
mm,
people have they like to bring more than what they need and then leave it lying around. So they're smart. They know, okay, well, they're gonna where there they are, there's gonna be food there. So they're not as aggressive nowadays. And like you stated before, we can see with the Epstein files, it's you have men and women, disgusting, that even offer up their kids to Epstein and them. You know what I mean? Like these are familiar people that are doing this to their own children, their own nieces and nephews, their own whatever.
yeah,
Um,
males and
Males
females,
and females.
and
And as bad
then
as the
most
males
likely getting
are,
paid.
as bad as the males are when you read like through these things, which is awful, I think the women involved are so much more worse
Mm,
because we're supposed to be the caregivers, the nurturers, the
mm,
you know um we the protectors in the sense of when the child gets hurt, we are the ones to go in and tell them it's going to be okay.
yeah,
That's disgusting.
yeah. They're so far gone. Those women.
That's
There's
It's
no bringing them
disgusting.
back. There's no bringing
Disgusting.
them back. Um. you know, it's like to be able to be lost in the woods. Like when I see this topic, right, and I already think in my mind like, what would a man be doing in the woods? Like I already know like that's a weirdo already,
Mm-hmm.
so unless you're like unless you're like a hiker and you're camping or whatever, or what would you be doing alone? You're hunting?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird activity to me in general. So that's already like a red flag. Um but it's just it's really hard to pick, but initially like I think we would pick the bear because I think we would be safe knowing that the predictability is there. Um and maybe you feel like you could outrun the bear if anything was to happen.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying?
I would never think.
Some people may think like maybe I could climb a tree or something and they won't be able to, I don't know, but I think the disadvantage of not being able to speak their language, um, based off what you do, and then we throw the wrench in there about the Cubs and all that,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it a little bit harder to like maintain that security and protector with the animal
Yeah.
because you're always gonna come second to them to their kind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why when you throw the cub and stuff in there, unfortunately the male is by themselves. You know what I'm saying? The male is not coming with like, oh, I got a daughter with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're playing with my daughter or whatever it is, like, yeah, I'm gonna hurt you. No, they're gonna think that that's cute. But with the mama bear, even the papa bear, they're gonna see attack.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna see I gotta protect my cub.
Yeah.
Um, so it's pretty difficult to choose. But when I saw this, I don't know how I came up with this shit. I thought it would be interesting
Mm.
to see the perspective and like I think a lot of women, because I've asked this question to women like in real life, not on like social media
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And they've picked the bear,
Yeah.
and I think maybe if we were in different times, and we could talk about all this traffic ring and pedophilia been going on since centuries and stuff like that. But men were a certain way back in the day. But I think where we are now, because obviously I'm asking modern females and women now, right?
Mm.
Like where we are now, what we've been exposed to. Most people are on social media, so they saw things that's building trauma because of public disaster.
Yeah.
So they it like because they were exposed to that visually, whatever they heard it, um, they can't get that out of their mind. It's in there
Mm-hmm.
forever. So because of that, that's like an easy pick for them to choose the bear versus no, I'm not gonna especially stranger. Like you're not telling me like I like it's not like I build a relationship with this guy, but not even an acquaintance. Like we don't pass by each other all the time. Like I didn't like see him on social media and then he was in the woods. Like complete stranger. Like when you put that into context, 100% they're gonna pick the bear.
Sometimes
Um
it's scarier if when it's somebody that you kind of sort of know that you don't really know that well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Some women. No, go ahead, and then
no, no, go ahead. Some women.
because you were gonna say something before
No,
you
no, but it's
forget.
about me, so I'll
Go
remember.
ahead. Oh, you remember?
Hmm.
Okay. Some women, I think that they might pick the man. I think because they feel like there's predictability there. Maybe there's a level of control in their mind where they be like, "Well, I can control that circumstance."
I know one woman who told me that she
You know.
would pick the man,
Mm.
and she gave me her reasons, but I don't want to say her reasons because you never know if we have her on the show.
Oh, okay.
But she also was like, "Am I going into the woods by myself, like alone? Do I have a gun with me?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now you know where her mind's
Mm-hmm.
at. She was like, "I'm going to the woods with a gun. I'm gonna pick the man because if the bear attacks me, I'm
No,
shooting the
no,
bear,
no,
and
no,
if it's
no,
a
no,
man, I'm shooting
no,
the man."
no. She wouldn't know.
I know, I
No,
know.
and I
I
wouldn't.
told her I was like, "No gun."
Yeah, I wouldn't make it that easy
Yeah.
because we're talking about the female vulnerability that's seeking protection.
Mm.
So we're looking at who's will be more prone to protect the woman
Or
in the
who
hood.
they
So
think, or who the woman thinks is more prone to
yeah,
protect
because
them, or who they're safer with.
if she has a weapon, she's able to protect herself.
From
That
both,
just
right?
defeats the whole
Purpose of it.
concept of this topic.
Yeah.
So we have to make that like she's metaphorically bare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
with nothing.
Like metaphorically naked. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's not she nothing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like you're seeking protection. You're lost. You need help navigating your way back to the car or something. You need to get home. You understand what I'm saying? So now
Yeah.
when we put more in context, but like we're talking about a human being that's not their 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 domain is not the woods.
Right.
That's not their natural habitat.
I think, so if I was lost, first of all, I would never go camping, but let's say I went camping and I got separated and I got lost in the woods. Of course, I would be terrified if I came up against a bear, and I would, try to remember everything, stay quiet, be still, whatever. And I think that if I heard a man, I think my first instinct would be like, oh my God, maybe they're a ranger or something and they could get me back to my people.
You see?
You know what I'm saying? But I would still be scared, and I would definitely look around for something,
Hmm.
a huge rock, a
Hmm.
stick, or something, so that when I do come forward, because
Hmm.
I mean, if you're thinking realistically, you're stuck. I don't know anything about the woods. I don't know
Hmm.
anything about camping.
Hmm.
That's not my thing.
Hmm.
So I would have to put myself at the mercy of this stranger that I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is scary because of everything that we've known, that men can do.
Yeah. And like with these topics, they're always brain teasers.
Yeah.
Like I always throw a wrench in there. So like I was even thinking of that before you said it. Like we've been on like the same wavelength this
Yeah.
season.
Mhm.
Like when we talked about the bear, we expounded
Yep.
on the possibilities. Grizzly bears, black bears,
Mhm.
these would be prone to more attacking people because of history,
Mhm.
right? If there was a cub, that all these scenarios, right? If it's just A, B, it's easy. I was gonna get more in context with the man stranger. So like that's the second thing about it because we're talking about okay, he's a weirdo, he's a regular guy, he's just in the woods or whatever. What is he doing? Hunting, camping, whatever. But now, park ranger,
Mhm.
sheriff. So now, like the male stranger has some status to him. He's not just like some regular smuggler. You
Right.
know what I mean? He's the park ranger. He's the sheriff. Now,
Right.
it's like now does that change the answer? Some women might say yes because if they're lost in the woods and alone, right? Lost, the key word, operative
Mhm.
word, they're trying to get
Back.
back,
Mhm.
right? And if they don't speak the bear's language, and oh wait a minute, I see a man, I see a human.
Mhm.
I'm gonna assume they don't speak Spanish. I'm gonna assume they don't speak Russian. I'm gonna assume they don't speak Cantonese,
Mhm.
Japanese, like stuff. Like I'm gonna assume they speak English like me, so
Mhm.
we can communicate. I need help, sir. Do you familiar? Can you help me get to my car?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, maybe even the bear is attacking her, and boom, the stranger can protect her from the bear and then help her get there.
Mhm. I mean,
So
I
it's
think.
like when you add more context of the stranger male, it might change the answer.
Yeah. I definitely think so. But also, like, if you're lost, you're also hoping, damn, I hope my people found somebody to tell them, she's lost. Let's go have a search party or something. You know what I mean?
There'd be no There'd be no what do you call it, towers or bar. You share your location
Yeah,
and with your people, and be like, wait a minute, there's no
exactly.
signal.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think in that circumstance, I definitely think that a woman would still be apprehensive, but this is where you got to be like, all right, am I going to be lost in the woods forever because I'm too scared? I'm so scared of, letting this man see me,
Mm,
or I got to, almost put my trust in God that nothing's going to happen. But like I said, if it was me, I would definitely look for something to have as a weapon or something, because you never know.
mhm,
You never know. He might be, a good person trying to get you back to your family, or
mm,
he could turn around and try to rape you first and then take you.
yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how far we've come.
Yeah.
We're so far gone that most women that I've asked this question chose the bear
Mm-hmm.
without thinking of all these scenarios that I added. Like they're just thinking a regular smuggler, stranger male, regular smuggler bear. I'm gonna be safer with the bear
Mm-hmm.
without even thinking, because there's so much negative concepts, negative connotations, um, trauma and stuff from men. I'm not saying that it's not men, males. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that it's wrong, but it's like we're so far gone from the things that males have done
Yeah.
to fucking ruin this shit for a lot of females and women, where they don't trust in males and men.
Exactly. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're so far gone with um just how like society is. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And I know it's wild, like I've even seen like women like doing sick shit where they have pets and they're like claiming them as their man. They're saying things like, "My son is my king."
Oh yeah, you said that
You
before.
know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that's how far gone we've got. Like, I believe that's like a traumatized woman. Like, has been
Yeah.
hurt from males like so many years, so many males. That she gets to that point, where an animal is like her man.
I don't even think that it has to be so many men. I think one man, can change how a woman thinks about the rest of the men, for good or for bad. Like you can have
Yeah.
one man ruin it for every other man because of how bad he treated her or whatever he did to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've talked about this on the show plenty, other times before. When I was younger, I was molested, and that kind of paved the way to how I saw things,
Mhm.
with men.
There are a
Um,
lot of women that are in your situation, especially our culture,
mhm,
Spanish, Black, Caribbean Black, um, Afro Latina, especially Middle Eastern. This shit happens with a relative.
mhm.
Trafficking, that shit is
White men
common
too. White men
out there.
too.
Yeah, it is. But we hear this a lot with them, because you guys, your bodies are formed very early, at an
Mhm.
early age. You're sexualized. You see all the music, the rappers back in the day, all that stuff sexualizing women at a very early age. So it's like it's
But look at
common.
the difference, though. Look at the difference. Black and Hispanic, and all, because we develop faster, so
Even
we have more womanly figures,
even the Spanish music,
right?
Spanish hip hop, reggaeton,
White
like it's all
men,
sexual.
white men like the flat chest, like the look of a little girl. That's what that's what the Epstein file said. It's all
Mm,
12-year-olds, 10-year-olds,
mm,
15-year-olds, and if you look at their picture,
mm,
they're not the 15-year-old white girl is not the same as the 15-year-old Hispanic, Latina and black girl who are already developed. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And I'm not saying that one um, case of abuse is, better than the other. No, I'm just saying look at the difference of it. It's still
mm.
bad. Either way, these men are still traumatizing these young girls in whichever, whichever poison that you're looking at. But um like in with that case, that's why I automatically pick the bear, because I have experience with that type of abuse. And because of that, it made me very hyper vigilant for when I had my own children. Because just because I'm a girl and it happened to me doesn't mean that it can't happen to a boy. You know
Mm.
what I mean? And it doesn't mean that it's not gonna, just because I didn't put a stop to it with that person per se. um I didn't call the cops. I didn't, tell relatives until much, much later, that it wasn't gonna just stop with me. That it couldn't have continued with my daughter, which it didn't. Thank God, none of my children.
I met two women that said the same thing at different times when I met them,
Oh,
right?
interesting.
And the thing that they said that was similar was they were in a situation like you, and they told me because of that. And mind you, these were women in their early 30s, mid 30s. They were like, "You gotta forgive me. How you are is foreign to me. And I
Mm.
see it's really how you are because you've been so consistent, but I cannot I cannot receive this.
Oh,
I
wow.
cannot receive this because I've never felt safe with a man.
Yep.
I never felt safe with them." And I was like, why do you keep engaging with them? Is it because like you don't want to be a lesbian, you're heterosexual, you still like dick, pause. Like I used old hoes terms. I
Right.
wasn't sugarcoating it. I was very straightforward. And both of them were like, I don't know.
You know what I think it is? Because they maybe they're not, maybe comfortable is the wrong word, but for lack of a better one, they're comfortable with the devil that they know instead of not. Like you seem to be like how they said. I'm going on. I'm playing off of what you said. They said that you're very consistent. Like you're consistent, but also they're not used to that. So is there an end to that consistency if they give into it? You know what I
Mm,
mean? Is it just a front, or, is it, are they going to be like, okay, finally found the guy, and then you change after a while? You know what I'm saying?
mm,
That guy's the same all year round.
yeah. Then that means those women ain't never gonna find genuine love. They're gonna
Maybe.
forever like, um, they're gonna forever be single. Like they're gonna be in relationships, but then it's gonna end because they didn't heal from that trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're gonna get in another one, then it's gonna end. Like they're not gonna be in a consistent relationship. They're always gonna be single
Unless they
until,
you.
yeah, and that can be till they're finally like in their 50s.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And
When it's
some of them
like
never heal.
at that point they're just like, all right, I'm just gonna settle for whatever's out there.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be their type and whatever it is, but like until they can like find the right person and and vet and also be vulnerable with, and then when they like the vulnerability is the test. When they are vulnerable, see how you're treated after that vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
See if that vulnerability is appreciated. See, because like in my lifestyle BDSM, right, we want that. We can't both sub and dom.
Want what?
Like we
Vulnerability
vulnerability, we
from each
can't
other?
we can't yeah, we
Uh.
can't operate without that. you know and the lifestyle, it transcends parameters of what basic relationships have to offer. So you guys are allowing each other access into a psychological, spiritual, uh uh um uh, um um physical, sexual, space,
Mm.
right? Emotional space. You know what I'm saying? And that is like what transcends anything regular. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And if you look at it right, it's what builds it more. The vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the trust and respect. It builds it more for you to engage and engage and dive into the power to really elevate in that dynamic. So that's like the biggest test. of the vulnerability, and then what happens after that?
Mhm.
Like, did he go ghost after that? Did he start treating me different after that?
Mhm.
Did he whatever? Because there's a lot of things that's happening that's happened to these females today, which is why the it's like the a chemical reaction,
Mhm.
right? Because there is a chemical imbalance, and that reaction, the byproduct is possibly like activity. The byproduct is guards up. The
Mhm.
byproduct is masculine. The hyper masculine. The byproduct is like
Being closed off.
closed off. They're prideful. They're like you're teaching them something. I
Mhm.
know. No, no, I know how to. Wait, I didn't even finish my sentence. Like
Mhm.
they're prideful, they're arrogant.
Yeah.
That's from that. Because and it's like they don't just do that with men. Yeah, you see them doing it with women too.
Yeah.
So that's like something that they have to be aware of and identify too in order to like go back to that. Because it's just sad when we look at like, damn, most women will pick the fucking bear over the actual like human being, where they could like connect with. Wait a minute, you can help me get out of here. And you're a man. You are a natural protector and provider.
Mm.
I'm lost. You can help me get out of here. And we speak the same language. But that's not a thought because of all these things.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not telling women to put their guard down. I'm just saying it's just sad that we've come this far where most of them would pick the bear over just the instinct. Just instinct. Oh no, definitely the human.
Mm.
Definitely the human.
Yeah. Well, that I mean, I agree with that, but that's also like we stated before, all the things that we've seen human men
Yeah,
are that are capable
yeah.
of doing.
hmm
But
That's
like I
why,
said,
mm,
like it just takes that one man to ruin it for men. It takes that one man to, to bring her back also from that despair of men, men are all the same or whatever.
y-
Because I was the exact same way. We don't show our vulnerability because it's awkward for us. It's hard for women who have gone through something to show that vulnerable side. But when we do find the person who can help us, by being consistent, like you said, by not running away when we finally do open up, and share those parts of us, that it helps because it erases a lot of the stigma that we place on men. Does that make sense?
mhm. I always bring my notebook because I'm the type of guy, my brain runs at 100 miles per
Mm-hmm.
hour, um, and per second. And I've said this in podcasts before. Like I'll write so much long captions, and Instagram they be hating. They don't give me enough room, so I gotta keep going into the thing. Facebook I could keep going, but Instagram like I gotta go into the comments and stuff like that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
my brain is just constant, so it helps me to just
Write it down.
level everything down and compartmentalize because we could be here for 3 hours. But I got so much to say and stuff of that nature. Um, but for final thoughts, right? Um, why this is like this is because I wrote down that God is the common denominator. And that is a metaphor. It's not, well, men need to be more in God. They need to have more relationship with God. That doesn't mean like going to church. I always make that
Mm-hmm.
stand because you got a lot of fake people in church and they don't practice what they preach and stuff of that nature. So God, the metaphor, right? And that equals like principles, disciplines, moral compass, code. So when you see these males that will see somebody like that is in need and they'll violate, right?
Mm.
It's because they don't have God in them. Now I'm not telling all men like, yo, all these women out here are damsels in distress. Help them all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not telling them to do that, but at the same time, the man is picking and choosing. Like me, I'm a man of God. I don't go to church.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you
But
mean he's
I'm
picking
a
and
man of
choosing?
God. I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'm a man of God. So principles, integrity is in me. So I'm getting into it. I see a couple arguing. I
Mm.
used this when we brought Tamika on, and I
Mhm.
said, "Well, you're gonna tell your son to treat all women like queens. You put him at a chance of getting got."
Yep.
So I'm gonna use that same scenario here. I see a man and woman arguing. I don't know if they're together. Could be at a gas station or whatever. They're arguing. He hits her. Now, if I'm like, oh well, every woman is damned on distress. Have God in you, and go save her. No, because the thing is, like, you could be in a situation where they both ganging up on you now.
Mhm.
They could be having a brat, a masochist, sadist dynamic. You don't even know it. They
Yep.
could be together. That could be fucking foreplay, playtime. He could have a weapon on him.
Mhm.
Yo, you don't treat a woman like that. Da da da. You get it, and then she's like, "Wait a minute, why are you talking to my man like that?" Oh, I
Exactly.
was here to save you. I was here to help you. See,
Exactly.
you gotta pick and choose, and that's the discernment. So it's the same thing that like you have God in you,
Mhm.
but you're using proper discernment, and God with the divine assistance is helping that. But in certain scenarios, like we talk about molestation, rape, and stuff like that, those are males that don't have God in them that are men.
Yeah.
God in you is men, divine. You know, so we're so far gone because when males behave this way and they don't elevate, they don't have God in them to have these principles, because these principles is what governs them. It's
Mm.
what keeps them in check. That's what holds them accountable. They're holding themselves accountable because of these principles. They know
Yeah.
there's ramifications with God. They're God fearing. Those other guys can't fathom that. That's why they move the way they move. Um, they're worried about the instant gratification, the pleasure, whatever, selfish, all that. The females are the same way.
Worse.
So they don't have God in them, and they don't incorporate those same values and codes and morals and principles. So they end up doing all of these things that we see publicly to other guys. We still don't talk about that Cardi B shit. Like, we just let her off the hook and everybody likes her again. That's why when chicks say they listen to Cardi B, I don't fuck with them. I'm just like, wait a minute. So you're good with the shit she was doing in the past? She publicly admitting drugging dudes, taking advantage of them. But no, she's a chick, right? We can't fathom females taking advantage of men. And I'm not picking on her. This is public. I'm not snitching or anything. This is public
Knowledge.
information.
Yeah.
But it's like when females do stuff like that and they don't think, the devil is in them. That's why. When they're out there posting their body, selling their body, doing all these things, that's not God. Even the littlest things, you're posting your body online,
Mm.
not getting paid for it or whatever. You're just doing it because you're depressed. You don't know if the man that you liked dumped you or ghost you. So you need a second opinion, because now that man got you fucked up. You don't know if you look good. You need the world to validate you. So let me post this picture. They're not fathoming that. They don't understand, because if God was in them, they wouldn't think twice.
Mm.
They wouldn't think twice. They don't care about the possible ramification. Thirsty dudes, this, that. I'm not gonna find genuine love. All these, I'm gonna meet predators. They're not. They're not. It's not for that. It's for them personally.
Mhm.
Personally, they would feel disgusted of themselves to do that. That's a woman that got God in her.
Mm.
She's elevating to woman, not female.
Mhm.
So for the fact that a lot of females could choose the bear, like a lot of males just don't have God in them. They didn't work on these skills. And that's why I don't really listen to a lot of these like male podcasts and dating male coaches and all that stuff. Like, they're all frauds to me. Contradiction. They're trying to say, like, be the best version of yourself, be high value and all this, but they're making it about women. If you don't get the
Mhm.
money, if you don't get the six pack, if you don't get this, then you're not gonna get chicks, because chicks only go to the best option. So you got to be the best option. They're making it about women versus they're teaching them the superficialities instead of teaching them about real principles that build a man for real.
Mm.
That build a man for real. Not providing. providing for a woman doesn't make a man. Being a man has nothing to do with a woman. So when you're building these fundamental principles, how the old school gangsters, mafia movies and stuff like that, how they operated, you know what I'm saying? Old school hip hop music, how they what they talked about,
Mm-hmm.
that these modern guys can't understand today because they weren't around seeing those things to learn those things. They didn't have fathers that they saw. That father, my dad was a man of his word. My dad, my uncle, they didn't
Mm.
see all my grandfather. They didn't see all those things. So they teach them the superficiality, setting them up for failure anyways.
Yep, that's
And
true.
those guys are gonna get lost anyways because that's like a that's like when you're trying to please everybody instead
Yeah.
of being your authentic self. It's tiring because eventually, when you get there and you get those baddies, what the modern era would say,
Mm-hmm.
those bad chicks, the good looking ones, whatever, porn star bodies, but can give you all these things, they not teaching these guys how to vet. So yeah, all those things will attract the superficial, but she not in love with you
Mm-hmm. She's in
because
love
you
with your
didn't build
money.
character. When
Mm-hmm.
the woman is in her divine, she's falling in love with character. So that's what they should try to teach them. And that's just the bonus aspect
Mm-hmm.
of getting the chicks. But to build yourself as a man where you could fall for nothing because these principles govern you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they should try to teach them. That's why I don't listen to them. That's why it's not because I'm arrogant and stuff of that nature. And I don't listen to them because they're setting these young males up for failure.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
true.
that means those guys will mold all these things, right? But pause, they'll still take dick up their ass for the bread. They'll
Mm-hmm.
sell their soul. They'll do this. They'll kill a loved one. They'll blah blah blah. They'll do all these things. Little children, pedophilia. See? So
Mm-hmm.
they're not even teaching them about principles because that's linked with God, integrity.
Yep.
That's what they should do because that's what's making them powerful. They're not teaching young men to be powerful. They teach them to build all these superficialities for chicks,
Yeah.
not even women, because real women don't care about stuff like that. It's an added bonus.
Mm-hmm.
They're teaching them for chicks, hoes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my final thoughts. I feel like, you know, molding, your spirit, and that's building character. Get a relationship with God. You realize there's a God in you.
Mm-hmm.
God in you, you incorporate these principles, and now these principles govern you.
Mm. I feel like they're like what you said about those guys telling them to build their wealth so that they can attract women. I don't even think that
It
it's
ain't just
just
their wealth.
right, right.
Like
But like everything that you said, I feel like it's not even so that you can get the woman that you want. It's so that you can get whatever woman that you want through your money or through however it is that you're acquiring them just for your pleasure. Does
mm,
that make sense?
yeah. The
So it's
real
not even like how you're saying that
uh,
they should do it.
the reality is like in and in the lifestyle of BDSM, right? In the integrity of dominance is where it's gonna inspire submission.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's in that lifestyle.
Mm,
So you like what they don't understand is like when you're building character, that's really what's gonna make the woman submit. Cause that's long term. That's
mm-hmm.
something that's gonna stay consistent. When you're building the superficialities, it's temporary, like kind of like how men will lust for the beauty,
Mm-hmm.
like the women will lust for the superficial. So eventually there's an expiration date on that. That's
Mm-hmm.
why when a guy like me who approaches that same chick that you got with, you're 6 foot 6 foot 7, I'm 5'11" or
Mm-hmm.
5'10". You got all these things, six pack, maybe cars and all these things, right? I'm able to get her to cheat on you and she'll be loyal to me and I'm not pushing out money.
Mm.
I'm not doing all these things. Not saying I would do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying more like there's more substance with those guys that build character where the woman will actually be more present than those dudes that do not.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. So that was your final thought?
Yeah. And like don't teach them that. So
No.
like I gotta talk like that so it could probably permeate throughout. Cause anybody, any doofus got a mic now.
It's
Any
true.
doofus got a mic now, and they're like this expert and philosopher.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like generalization of women when there's different types of women. No, no, no.
Yes.
A lot of y'all are talking about females that
Mm-hmm.
y'all interacting with, and then y'all teaching these young guys about them.
Those specific
Yeah.
type of
And some
women.
of
Yep.
these dudes could be in relationships. So when you're talking about all of them, that means you're with one.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because you're not differentiating. You're
Right.
not like saying, no, no, no. Well, most of them, a
Right.
lot of them. Well, these sides over here, but then I know these traditional ones, they
Right. Right.
submissive, these women. You're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not differentiating.
Yeah, because not just like not all men are the same, not all women are the same too. All right. So my final thoughts are, um, while I can understand why most women and most men would want their daughters or themselves, the females, would feel more comfortable and safe with a bear. You know, we have people in our own government, Ted Cruz,
Mm.
who says maybe we should back off of the pedophile. This is what the man said on a thing. People in our own government want us to ignore what we've seen
Yeah,
these men do countless times
yeah.
to countless children, to countless women over and over again. And
Cause it's,
so it's 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 understandable where a woman would be apprehensive to run to a man for safety and security and help.
cause he probably friends with him, or
He's
he's one
he's
too.
on the yeah, he's on the list. You know what I mean? We even have the so-called president of this country is on the list on his list over what was it now 2,000 times. That's a lot of times to be calling Epstein
He's like the
the
first,
number one.
number
Yeah,
one.
he's the number one person on there. So it's not it's understandable why. um so the only thing that I can think of is protect yourself, learn self-defense, walk with people, have a weapon. That way, if God forbid you ever find yourself in that situation, you can reach out to that person and still have that comfort knowing that you could be able to get away from it. It's
Oh,
sad that that anyone would have to say that.
yeah.
But in this day and age, that's what we've come down to, and that's hopefully things will change. But in the meantime, that's the only thing that you can do.
Yeah, and the last thing I want to say, just common sense, right? Women that have God in them, why you end up in the woods anyways? Like, don't go in the woods. You wonder
I don't
how
go
did you
in the
get how did
woods.
you get in there? Did somebody drug you and you woke up in there? Did you walked in there? Like you walked in there because you're like, wait a minute, my car is on the other side. Maybe I could take a shortcut. Like, don't be dumb and go in the woods. Avoid that. Go the other way. Because always be like a even people call you crazy. Always be paranoid and be like,
Hmm.
yeah, maybe if I go in there, yeah, there gonna be some snakes. Maybe if I go in there, there's gonna be da da da. Maybe if I go there, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't know, so that will stop you from going in. So just common sense. We wouldn't even have this topic if you just even like change the future. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
change the future because you could see the future and you're like, you know what? I can see the future. I can know what possibly gonna happen. Yeah, my path was gonna be for me to end up in the woods, but I saw the future. Yeah, the woods is right there. I finally came upon it. Yeah, I'm not going.
No, thank
So
you.
just avoid it
You know how many
as a
times
whole.
my family has been like, "Oh, let's go camping. Let's go." No, thank you. And it's not because of snakes or bears or a stranger in the man, because do you know how many spiders there must be in there?
Mhm.
No, thank you. That right there alone, you'll never catch me camping, whitewater raft, none of that. No, thank you. And that's it. That's my
Hiking.
no,
What about during the day?
no.
Like it's crazy going at night, but what about during the day?
There's bugs in there too. No, I'm not going anywhere where there's bugs that can just jump on
Yeah,
me. I don't think so.
yeah. Some
Mm-mm.
some some females are oblivious. You know, this is the ones that don't have God in them. They're oblivious. They're naive. They're
Mm.
gullible. You know, So
Yeah, I've heard of women. I even know some women that go to other countries dolo.
dolo, yeah,
That's crazy,
yeah,
especially with the
it's definitely,
trafficking.
yeah,
No
yeah,
way.
yeah.
I'm so paranoid. I was invited to one of my girlfriend's house because she does she's into like plant medicine and stuff. And they were gonna do ayahuasca, and I'm interested in that. But all of a sudden, I was just like, I don't know the people who are serving it. What if they want to traffic me?
Mm.
This is can nobody get over on me. I watch way too many movies. I'm too hip to it, man.
Um, so I would say to the fellas, like, always strive to be a good man. That's
Yeah.
masculine, that's divine, not a nice guy. A good man will always save a woman's life. A nice guy puts her at risk for harm and possibly death.
Those are
that
definitely my
that that's
thoughts.
what I would say for men to do today. Always strive to be a good man, and that falls on that's an umbrella, and it has dominant in there.
Mm-hmm.
It has masculine. It has decisive. It has all these things. Strong leader. All these things in the umbrella of good man. Try to be a good man, not a nice guy. The good man will save a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Heal a woman. I know we say we can't heal people, but these men, if they have divine in them, they got healing power too. They
Yeah.
will heal a woman. They will save a woman. The nice guy, toxic. The nice guy, unhealed. His masculinity's distorted. You
Yeah.
know, he cannot do anything for a woman really. He's following the chick.
Mm.
He can't elevate her to woman if she came in as a female.
That's true.
So the good man, I'll reiterate for the third time, will always save the woman
Yeah.
from herself, from possible things, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking from personal experience because women have told me I saved their life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's true because you gotta understand the good man, the king, he's coming with accountability, and women need that because the man is already holding himself accountable.
Mm.
So he's holding her to the same standard. And by her having accountability in her life, it's going to save her for a lot of fucked up things that could possibly happen, risk for danger. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
he's also logical. That falls on the umbrella of good man, too. The logical man you could be saying, yo, you're crazy. You're paranoid. See, well, this could happen if you post like this. You got your
Mm.
location, blah, 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 AI, all these. You got an iPhone? All these software updates, you ain't checking for AI. You
Mm-hmm.
got to turn that off. Go to
Yep.
settings. Go to general. You ain't checking for that. Do you know? Now that I mention it, will you go?
Mm-hmm.
Logical. You see? So it's like a good man will help save her life. Yo, why you walking the street and not looking both ways? Hold my hand. What's wrong with you? Hold on.
Mm.
Oh, okay. A good man will say, like, hold her accountable. Discipline. No, no, no. That's not what you do. That's not what we do. Boom, boom, boom. This, that. Dress like that. Boom. You don't tell her how to dress, but if she dressing provocative, we don't rock like that. Go change something that your father would do. Good
Mm-hmm.
man. Help her because you're thinking of the possible. She not. She thinking of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Fun, fun, friends. Da, da. You're thinking of, oh, I know what's out there. I know what can happen. Da, 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 all this other stuff. She's like, oh, you're crazy. You're paranoid. You're insecure. You're jealous. You're already thinking ahead.
Yep.
The good man will save the woman's life. So women need good men. It's just a lot of times they they want that their DNA, but they're not ready for it. They don't know how to.
Maybe they can't find one.
They could find it and they could get it, but then when they get it, they fuck it up. They self-sabotage it because they never had it before and it's overwhelming. Remember the last episode? Imagine if you saw God walk through
Mm.
faith, not sight, like they say in the Bible, but you saw God visually. You saw in your dreams. Like, wait a minute, did you see that aura right there?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. Did you see that aura? You're like, no, you saw it. I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I saw something
Something, right?
moving. It was white, it was shiny, it was, you know what I'm saying? You could describe it and everything. It was clear to you.
Mm-hmm.
You was, you're in tune. You're in tune then. If you were able to see that, 99% of people never.
Yep, that's true.
So it's the same thing when she get a good man. It's kind of like, this can't be real.
Mm.
I cannot see God in human form. It's not real. It's not fathom. So they'll fuck it up because they're used to the fucked up shit. The fucked up shit is normal. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. We haven't had an argument since we met. We've been dating for 2 months. I gotta start some shit. Because if I don't start some shit and for him to attack me back, I won't feel sane. That's
Mm.
how all my other relationships was. So no, he's not argumentative. He's too calm. He ain't hit me yet.
Mm.
He's rough in the bed or whatever it is. I get it. But he ain't hit me yet outside of it. He ain't called me a bitch. Wait a minute.
That's
What
not normal though.
they like a
For
lot
those women
yeah,
you're
but a
talking
lot of
about?
them been in so toxic stuff. That's what they used to.
Hmm.
He's not treating me like shit. He's not treating me like shit. Like when is it gonna happen? Like he need a little edge to him to make me feel sane. It's boring. It's boring. This ain't working out for me.
That sounds
Why
like
it's
women
not
who are
working out for
they're
her?
toxic too. Yeah.
Yeah, they need to heal.
Yeah.
Like when you connect, you don't know who God sent you,
That's true.
but you got to be able to be in tune to realize that.
Yep.
Some of them feel like they don't deserve love. That's why they
Yep.
self-sabotage it because of what they went through. It goes back full circle.
Yep.
What they
Definitely.
went through. You talked about the earlier the molestation and all that, grape and all that. See,
Mm-hmm.
that can be the byproduct.
That's true.
How they move, how they move. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm only great for fucked up niggas.
That's true.
That's it. I can't get the good ones. I want them, but that's not really in my cards.
Mm.
They don't speak power to themselves. They don't. They're not really positive. They fake online though. Fake confidence. They'll say
Mm.
all the right stuff in their videos.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Girls do this, be like this. Meanwhile, when the cameras are off,
It's a
they,
different
they don't
story.
believe none of that stuff. They're not that secure.
Mm. That's true.
That's why they can't get that. See, you get whatever you are. The submissive is strong. That's
Mm.
why she gets a dominant because he's strong. Divine gets divine. Royalty gets royalty. If you toxic, you get toxic.
Yep. That's
So
true.
even the independent, strong boss babe, she weak, so she get weak beta. They don't see that
Mm-hmm.
because you would think, wait a minute, she's strong and she independent. She should get a strong, independent man. It's inside. It's what's the soul really showing, not what you faking. It's what's
Mm.
really inside.
Yep. That's true. I agree with
She
that.
really weak inside. All that lack of vulnerability and all that. God, she really weak inside. Takes a strong woman to be able to do that with somebody special. Not go into the world and be like, I'm an open book. Men don't like that. Men like to be privileged to know I'm good. That's why we had that episode. What's worse, sharing an intimate conversation
Mm-hmm.
or the physical?
Mm-hmm.
They
I remember
both
that
worse,
one.
but what's worse?
Right.
What they both bad, but what's worse?
Yeah.
So people just gotta educate themselves. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what changes circumstances.
I agree.
Once
Definitely.
again, ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real, no holds barred, the Discipline Therapy podcast. One more episode left. Peace.
Peace.